It's that time of year. The holidays are officially over. That New Year energy is kind of starting to fade. And this very specific pressure starts to build up. It's the pressure to get results and get them fast. But what if sprinting right out of the gate is actually the wrong move? Today, we're going to explore a totally different approach, what we call the season of right activity.
Does that sound familiar? I mean, this quote from a business owner, Thalia, just perfectly captures that sinking feeling, doesn't it? You're barely even back at your desk and you can already feel the weight of all those targets and expectations. It's such a common and honestly, a really stressful way to kick off the year.
For a lot of us, this time of year isn't really a fresh start. It feels more like a re-entry. The kids are heading back to school, our brains are trying to switch back into work mode, and bam, reality hits. And that re-entry comes with this huge, immediate pressure to perform. And that pressure, it often leads to this trap we call performative selling. It's that frantic scramble to just look busy, a flurry of emails, a bunch of calls, a ton of social media posts, all just to prove you're on top of things. But here's the problem. All that activity, it rarely actually moves the needle. You're just spinning your wheels and burning yourself out. A lot of this anxiety is fueled by focusing on totally the wrong things. We get obsessed with what are called lag indicators, things like last month's revenue. These numbers are basically a report card on what's already happened. Staring at them is like trying to drive a car forward while only looking in the rearview mirror. Sure, it tells you where you've been, but it gives you zero help on where you're actually going. So, if that whole frantic, high-pressure approach just doesn't work and only leads to burnout, what's the alternative? Well, let's dive into a better, much more intentional way to think about selling.
Okay, the big goal here is to completely reframe what selling even means to you. It's all about getting rid of that yuck or ick factor, that feeling that you have to be pushy or aggressive or just not yourself to succeed. The whole idea is to turn it into something that feels helpful and really genuine.
I love this quote because it just illustrates the new model so perfectly. Instead of being the mysterious smoke and mirrors Wizard of Oz, you become Glinda the Good Witch. Your job isn't to trick anybody or persuade them. It's to be a trusted guide, showing your client, your Dorothy, the clear path forward on their own journey. And look, this isn't just some vague, nice-sounding philosophy. It's a real structured process. It's about learning new ways of thinking, getting your hands dirty and experimenting with what works for you, taking a step back to reflect on those learnings, and then really embedding them into your business. It's a cycle that's designed to build a solid, aligned rhythm, not just a bunch of random actions. And this brings us right to the core solution for all that re-entry pressure we were talking about, a concept we call the season of right activity. So here's the crucial takeaway. This time of year, it is not the time to chase speed. It is the time to find your alignment and establish a sustainable cadence. It's really about slowing down right now so you can build real, lasting momentum for the rest of the year. Think about it this way. You can either chase the harvest, right? Just obsessing over the fruit you can pick today, which, let's be honest, almost always leads to panic. Or you can spend the season building strong roots. That means focusing on the deep, meaningful work that's going to create stability for the entire year to come. One path leads to burnout, the other one leads to resilience. So how do you actually build those roots? You do it by shifting your focus away from those lag indicators we mentioned and onto lead indicators. Lead indicators are the activities you can actually control that predict your future success. We're talking about things like making meaningful connections or doing the deep strategic work. This is how you water the roots. And when you make this shift, the transformation is it's profound. You move away from a mindset that's all about panic, and you move into one of steady, intentional progress. Let's look at the contrast here, side by side. On one side, you've got the panic mindset. You're stuck in this monthly panic cycle, obsessing over lag indicators and constantly chasing the harvest. But on the other side, you've got the progress mindset. You're zooming out to a quarterly view, you're focused on lead indicators you can actually control, and you're building those strong roots for the future. It's a night and day difference. This quote from Amara over at Accelerate Sales just says it all, doesn't it? We are building a cadence, not a crisis. The goal is to create a predictable, sustainable rhythm for your work, a cadence. That is the complete opposite of lurching from one self-inflicted crisis to the next. And what's the result of all of this? What's the outcome? It's this feeling of a steady, quiet power. It's the confidence that comes from knowing exactly what you need to be doing each week, and even more importantly, understanding why that work truly matters for your long-term goals. All that frantic energy just gets replaced with a focused calm. So, we've covered a lot of the why, but now, how do you actually put this into practice? Well, it all starts by finding a reliable weekly rhythm. And this isn't just theory, it's a really tangible, proven structure. As you can see here, there's a system designed to guide you through a weekly cycle of learning, of experimenting, and of embedding what actually works into your business. The whole process breaks down into 4 really clear steps. First, you learn a new concept. Then, you put it into practice through experimentation. The third step, and this one is crucial, is to think and ask. You reflect on what you learned. And finally, you embed those successful actions and you focus on making them a habit. It's just a continuous loop of improvement. And you can apply this rhythmic approach to all the essential parts of selling. It helps you build those foundational skills, like really knowing your sales numbers or creating a client roadmap. But it also helps with the deeper arts of listening and asking awesome questions. It's all about building up your skills systematically, one piece at a time. So, we'll just leave you with this to think about. What if, instead of chasing the harvest all the time, you really focused on building your roots? What if you swapped that panic of performative selling for the calm confidence of a steady cadence? What if this is the year you finally find your rhythm?